Hey guys, mystery boxes are fun, but sometimes the mystery part goes a little too far. Some kind of pop and some random t-shirt, but who knows what else. Heck, is the rest of the stuff even worth it? If you want a box that caters more to your liking, try Zanini Box. Pins, trading cards, that's it. No cheap add-ons or fillers, just pins and cards that are movie, video game, and comic book themed. With 7 choices of subscriptions, you can customize your experience with a little less mystery and a lot more of what you're paying for. Visit zaninibox.com to customize your subscription now, and you can enter the code CBU20 to take an extra 20% off your entire order and let them know that Professor Bill sent you.
Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. I did something new this week.
What'd
I brought
you
in Chillmonger.
Hey.
There wasn't new. What's going on, brother?
Oh, I'm loving life.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Anything else you're loving?
I'm loving this podcast, which is we made it to all the way to episode 28 of. Woo.
We kind of badass, man, I'm saying. Hey, I just passed 1,600 subs today. What are you at?
Shoot. You asked me the one week I forget to actually enter the number
Right?
of
I noticed that. I'm just like, you always have it up there.
It's
Where is
over 500, under 600.
It's over 9,000. That's what I'm waiting for, man. One of these days, like that's got to be like the big freaking live stream where you're just like, it's over 9,000. Oh man. So yeah, we got a bit to talk about, but I noticed that we haven't been talking a whole bunch of comic books for the past couple of weeks. Just a little bit about comic books. So I figured towards the end of the podcast, we'll talk a whole lot about comic books. What do you say?
A lot of cancellations over at Marvel.
Yeah, no?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. What do we have to talk about now?
We can begin with movie news, Mulan and Disney Plus. Apparently in a Q3 earnings call, they announced, Disney, that Mulan will be available video on demand for the low price of $30. As silly as that sounds to you and me or anyone else who is listening to this, remember that families pay that much at the movies regularly. A ticket for all of them, the popcorn, the drinks, we're looking at $50. So It is a fair price when you consider that it's going to be a whole bunch of you and kids going to the movies. That's I think they can get away with it for Mulan. I know that Trollz, that movie, that one was like a $20 release, but again, same idea. It's a family movie and parents are going to be saving money.
Yeah, here's the thing about it. This is going to be video on demand, so this is something that Disney hasn't done yet. And you and I have talked about, and I'm sure other people also have talked about, they should consider doing this with Black Widow. If this is successful, we might just get that with Black Widow too.
Yeah.
But for right now, we've got a September 4th release for $29.99. And my question is, how long do you get to keep it for? Is it like one viewing only?
No way, they could not do that. Because what if you need to
3
pause
day?
it?
Yeah, I know, right?
When you pause the video, is there going to be a timer? Like you can only be paused for 60 seconds before you come back. That would be weird. It is a weekend. No, it should be forever. It really should be you own it.
No, it won't. It's video on demand, so it's not going to be a you keep it. It's not going to be a digital download kind of thing.
So how do they usually do it? 24 hours?
It depends. A lot of times they'll do at least 2 days, like 48 hours, you know? So I'm hoping they'll do 4 or 2 or maybe hopefully 3 days, you know, like extended weekend. So this way you get multiple viewings of it, which that could be worth it for some families. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like when you think about it, like I know this is American prices, but I mean, cheap movie for a brand new movie or whatnot, and you go by yourself. Yeah, you're going to only pay a couple bucks. Maybe you can sneak in your soda can or something like that, your soda bottle, you know, thing of goobers. You know, so you ain't got to worry about too much. But I mean, jeez, when you're talking about you're going to the movie theater, you are going to be paying upwards of $50. That's probably just for like 2 people. You know, if you got kids also, forget about it. So you're talking about Mulan. Yep. This is a movie that this is an all ages movie, for crying out loud.
That's true.
Yeah, and you'd actually be saving money, especially if you have a big TV and it's going to look like you got the movie theater quality. You will actually be saving money because you'll have your own pizza and popcorn and whatever the hell else you want, and just vacuum clean it up afterwards, and you're golden, you know?
if you're saying we're also going to save money because we'll be watching it twice and that's a second movie ticket,
Yeah.
I would say that you're only watching it twice because you have the ability to. You wouldn't regularly just watch Mulan twice. But yeah, you're making the most of your dollar. Who actually is going to go to Mulan twice with their kids?
Well, I don't know because I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm seeing her running alongside of walls and doing some ninja fu matrix stuff. I mean, it might be epic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe some dude will show up, be like, "Hi, you thought Mushi wasn't going to be in here, right?" Boom, and it's Eddie Murphy, and he just starts doing some kung pao chicken stuff. I would be down for that, bruh. You know, I'd watch that 6 times. Shoot, sign me up for some Eddie. But like, all seriousness, no, if it's a good movie, you know, like there are a lot of people who will see a movie twice in a week. So if it's like, oh yeah, we just saw this movie, and even if you're not going to watch it a second time, the idea that you would have the option to watch it again in your mind, you'd say, we can always watch it again before, you know, the timer is up.
Yeah.
Boom.
And plus, we're talking about kids. We're talking about kids. It's not like they got much choice. But also with that, they're kids. They don't really know what the new movie hype is compared to like an old movie hype. They could watch High School Musical for the first time. It's the first time they've seen it. It's not like the graphics are too different, but they've got 3 films to watch now in that series. I don't think that we got to be like, oh, we got to give them the new thing. That's more so like us older people where we know there's a new thing. We've seen everything before and we've got to watch the Mulan movie, which does look good.
It does look pretty good, doesn't it? But yeah, I'm saying that'd be pretty cool if they just said, like we said, try something out. If it works, hit us up with some Black Widow. This will not be the first time that Disney does this if it's successful, if it's even partially successful. Because the fact is, other companies, other streaming services, guaranteed are going to try this. They might do it for a lower price, like $20 instead of $30, but we'll see. This is Disney's first run on this, so we'll see what happens. Everything's on demand, everything's streaming. See what's up.
Yes. Let's not ignore the reason they're doing it, because if everything was normal, this would definitely be a theatrical release. They're kind of pushed against the wall, and they're given the opportunity to see if they could do it.
That's right. Oh, you were going to say something.
I was changing the topic, but it's somewhat related. What were you going to say?
I'm just thinking, like, not every movie theater or not every country is doing this. Like some places in Europe, in America, and in Canada, that's what they're going to do. They're going to release there. But in other places where you know the virus is under control, they can be like, oh no, theatrical release. It's already been established. It is going to get a theatrical release worldwide, but it's not going to be as big as, you know, like regular, because some countries are obviously closed, the theaters.
Yeah, first of all, it is under control. Just ask the president. If you watch the HBO interview, cases are going down in Florida.
Was it on HBO Max? Then you can't believe it. Like, is there going to be a Snyder cut of that interview? Because otherwise, I don't want to see it.
With the whole theatrical releases and stuff. Oh man, brain fart. Because I had something good to say. It was about Dynamite or Valiant. One of them is closing their studios, closing their offices, and it's on lease. Was it Dynamite or Valiant?
Dynamite, yeah.
Now, I'm sure after this whole pandemic incident where everyone's doing stuff on live stream, they realize, what's the point of having an office even? Like, we don't need that anymore. That's a way of the past. And so they're getting rid of it. So likewise, this whole pandemic will also influence the way that movies come out, and they're going like, what's the point of these movie theaters? We can give it direct to our customers and they will pay for it. So moving forward, we just will do away with the office known as the theaters. It's similar.
It's a possibility. I don't know if it's their main office or not, but Dynamite, I think it's supposed to be in like Wayne, New Jersey or Morristown, New Jersey.
I thought it was New York.
Is it New York? I thought it was Jersey.
The video I said New York.
Whatever. Yeah, it is what it is, but bang. So, I don't know. Is there something happening in Valiant? I'd figure I'd know that.
It's just a mistake. I should have said Dynamite. I'm sorry.
Is it actually Dynamite? Because I thought it was Dynamite, but it sounds like we're talking about 2 different things. Whatever. I'm tired of not knowing this because, like, you just sprung it on me, man.
Sounds like Dynamite to me. It sounds like Dynamite.
Sounds like a Dynamite thing.
You know what's a Dynamite thing? Nia Dacosta. That's the director of the new Candyman horror flick that came out. She also did Little Woods, a movie I haven't seen, but I'm going to have to check that one out.
Well, did you see Candyman?
Not the first one, no.
Whoa, hold on. Did you see her Candyman?
Her Candyman comes out soon. I don't think it's actually out yet.
Oh, it's not even out yet. Okay, never mind. Well, you never saw the original Candyman?
No, I'm not a horror thriller guy.
Oh, I think they made at least 2. They might have made 3, but I'm pretty sure they made at least 2. I remember seeing the second one once, and I was like, whatever. No, the first one, dude, was wicked. Yo, that was wicked. They held nothing back, man. There was a mom who was in a supermarket talking about, you got to, her little boy, you got to pee? Just go over in that little shack over there and pee. It's like across from the supermarket. And it's like, are you sure? Just go. I'll be right over there in a minute. He goes there, he comes back. Somebody cut off his penis with a hook. A little kid, man. A kid. Like, it was violent. It was wicked. This thing held nothing back.
Was it Bryan Singer? So Nia Dacosta is going to be directing that film, the film Captain Marvel Dos. We don't even know the working title of the Captain Marvel movie, but we know it's Nia Dacosta directing it. It's going to be good. I saw your review of that. You're happy. Just the idea that a black woman is going to be directing it. I can't argue. Let's see what. No, seriously. Like, let's see what happens. It was like, because maybe this is going to be good. Hey, we got freaking Ava DuVernay. She wound up doing a movie that, regardless of what Brie Larson says, did not do very well, and now she's going to be doing The New Gods. So let's see what happens there. She's a comic book fan, really?
Who?
Ava DuVernay.
She's doing The New Gods. Yeah. I don't know if she's a comic book fan or not. She said it's going to be Big Barda-centric. Awesome. I'm down for some Big Barda. But I removed all of those toys and replaced some new ones, so I don't have my Big Barda up. I'm trying to get one without the helmet so you can actually see her hair also, because there were 2 of those made. But anyway, so...
I became an Ava DuVernay fan like last month when I saw all the Netflix stuff she did.
Oh, really? Okay. Cool. Yeah, I don't know any of that stuff.
You got to see... Ooh, which one do I tell you to see? Watch the 13th. It's talking about the 13th Amendment.
Okay, I will check out the 13th. Done.
Will you, or are you like me who was like, nah, I can't watch anything that you recommend?
No, you can't watch anything that I recommend?
Because it's always in black and white and it's old. This one is not that old. This is like 4 years ago.
You know what? There's a place over there, a little shack. Why don't you go over there and take a leak real quick?
Bryan Singer's going to come visit me.
You deserve it after that comment. Now I don't think I'm going to watch the 13th.
You going to watch the Wonder Woman trailer?
Already watched it. There was like, 2 extra scenes added onto this. Yeah! Like, what is this, man? So we get a better look with some stills of what Kristen Wiig's costume is going to look like. Yeah, Cheetah. Also, if you go to stores like Toys R Us or Walmart, Target, I'm sure has it also. There's no more Targets in New Jersey or in Canada. Not too many Toys R Us's in America though, so hey, we're somewhat even. But they have the Lego figures, and they have a version of Cheetah there, and it doesn't look good. The one on the stills, they look okay. But they're still doing the 80s thing, and it's like, it's nostalgic, I get it, but don't tell me you're making the movie for me if it's going to be all sorts of silly like that. It doesn't look great. Anyway, with these 2 scenes, it may not seem like it's a lot. I actually already completely know how they're going to do this whole entire movie. I have zero doubt in my mind that I might be... Like, if you ask me, Professor Bill, what are the percentage that you think that you're wrong? I'm going to say this. 0%. I am 100% positive that I am right and how this movie is going to go. I'm not going to sit here and give spoilers, but I'm an honest engine, and I will honestly say if I was right or wrong when I do see the movie and I do a spoiler review. So yeah, there's that.
Do you wish the Wonder Woman movie wasn't in 1984 and was in the present?
It seems like some of the things it seems like with the trailers seems like they're going to 80s and dorky 80s. See, my 1980s were Metallica. Not Ava DuVernay, Patty Jenkins was apparently like Oingo Boingo. Like, there's a big difference between the 2. So, yeah. We had 2 very different 80s. Like, I'm Ronnie James Dio in Black Sabbath, and she's more like Bananarama. She's got it. Baby, she's got it. And freaking Belinda Carlisle and stuff like that. No knocking on Belinda Carlisle or Bananarama, but, You know.
No, I have no idea what this guy's talking about. Bananarama. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know Metallica.
It's YouTube, man. Check out Bananarama. It's a cruel, cruel summer. Now you're gone. See that? You're bopping along with me.
Yeah, it sounds nice.
You're not the only one. Anyway. Hey, you sang the one time, now I'm singing. You can make fun of me.
We're not going to do that. We're just going to move on, trucking. And John Wick number 4 and number 5 will be filmed back to back.
Woo! Man, that is wicked to hear. And if you remember, I was talking about that. Well, not this particular movie, but the idea that if you've done one successful movie, you've done a second successful movie, if you've got any confidence in your ability to keep on knocking out that success machine, do 2 movies. Just knock them both out. Do it. Just do it. You know? Because, and look what they're doing. Like, here's John Wick. Who's not going to go see John Wick 4? Who's not going to go see John Wick 5?
The fan base is expanding. After every film, they get more people watching it.
Right? It's insanity.
And the budget's only like $60 million, and that's not that much.
Yeah, because the budget really just has to be John Wick, guns, and people to kill.
Yeah.
Most of these guys don't last long enough. Most of the people there could just practically be walk-ons. Like, just walk across the street and then fall down all of a sudden. No, it's fine. We'll make it work. And they do.
I like that you can watch these movies back to back. And it's filmed all in the same day, isn't it? Like, John Wick happens, and then he's got excommunicado, and then he's got to take a visit all the way to the desert. But that's only like a week that's passed from the first movie where his dog dies to where we are now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just going.
So that's probably why they got to shoot it back to back. Keanu Reeves is going to age. He's going to look really weird. Yeah. He's not Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel, who just don't age. They could make a thing. They could make a thing where Brie Larson, Carol Danvers actually ages. If Rogue takes her powers at the end of her second movie, she'll get like a gray, and then we can just register that, okay, the non-aging part of her powers is gone now, and we can see. Like, Thor's supposed to be 1,500 years old, but he looks kind of young in that first appearance, you know, compared to what he looks like now.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why they had to get rid of his ass real quick. But after
for
Love
Jane
and
Foster?
Thunder, well, no, I think that in Love and Thunder, that might be his. I don't know if that's gonna be his last movie, but it'll probably be close to it.
No way. We'll see.
Oh, okay. I hope he sticks around.
Yeah, me too.
I hope he does. But it seems like they're just trying to, like, get rid of some of the older guys, let in some of the newer guys, you know? Anyway.
Whatever they're doing, it's not by choice. It's by, shit, these guys don't want to do these roles anymore.
Yeah.
Or they're getting too expensive, like Iron Man's case. But
that's what usually winds up happening. They're too expensive.
And he's really not. He is worth all that $70 million that he got for Endgame.
When he makes half of what the expense budget is, that says a lot. That says a lot to me. I don't know. It's just
says a lot, but tell me that he's not worth that money. You can't.
I'm not going to do it because I don't want the fan backlash. You know
I'm sure you could do.
That's some smoke I'm just not interested in dealing with. Man.
Avengers Endgame made 2.8 of those. That's a lot of money. That's 2,800 million, I think.
It 100% is. Yeah.
And he's just not worth 70 million of it? No,
are the writers worth close to that?
Yes. The writers are worth a whole lot of money, and I would pay them as much money as they'd ask for.
Yeah, so why is it that Robert Downey Jr. gets that? Like, I see too often that the actors are always getting this big chunk of change, and it's like, that's great, but that's like, like, listen, I was in, the Army 6 years, and there are 2 different branches in the U.S. Army. There's infantry, and there's support. 80% of the military is support. So this is the truck drivers, the meal takers, the meal carriers, whatever, usually truck drivers, the bricklayers, right? The medics, the howitzer drivers, all the different tanks, the mortars, just like all the different fields out there, the forward observers, all these different fields that are all support for the infantry. Infantry by itself dies. And that's just all there is to it.
When you mean dies, you mean the people who work that job
We
Say
will
it's
all
fatal.
die. All of us, we will all die, either on our own or because we're shot. Because, like, who's going to take care of our clothes? Who's going to build our homes? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to bring us out there and do all this stuff? Like, we can't do everything by ourselves. So
Yeah.
if everything is about getting the infantry to here, to there, because tanks don't win wars, jets don't win wars, bombs don't win wars, people win wars. That's the way it's always been, the way it's always going to be. You can't win a war through drones. They can get shot out the air, they can get staticked out, whatever. But a good soldier who's trained how to fight
Yeah.
and survive, that's what wins a war.
I disagree with that. I think the weapons win the wars. Like, if you look at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they didn't go like, oh, that pilot who pushed that button that dropped that bomb, he's credit to him. He should be on the news. We look at the actual atom bombs.
We don't
So,
celebrate.
I know
those
the
days.
point of
We
I know the point of what
celebrate D-Day,
exactly.
and D-Day was an impressive maneuver, right? We talk about whenever we talk about anything that Hitler and the Nazis did that were amazing. We talk about that Blitzkrieg. Like, holy crap, that was an amazing maneuver, right? It's the idea of the tactics and the soldiers who were actually doing this stuff.
So your point about with getting paid, 80% of the people are not soldiers or not infantry, excuse me,
Or not infantry, yes.
and they get paid more, they get paid less.
It's not, no, actually they don't get field promoted, but that we all get paid the same. No, it's the idea that we recognize that support is not secondary. You know what I'm saying?
A writer is support.
A writer is support.
I'd look at it the opposite way.
The main person that you're looking at is the actor, the main person that we all see. And if a lot of us, we will think about the movies, we'll think about the greater aspect. Like, it's not just the people who we see on the screen. No, it's those people whose names we see without faces at the end that we interrupt with, another Stan Lee appearance, God rest his soul. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, I want to see the writers and the cameramen and the, F the directors, they get enough. But no, maybe not. I don't know. But like, the actors aren't the only people who should be demanding more money, who should be able to demand more money. But all these other people are indispensable.
So I don't look at Robert Downey.
Are not indispensable.
Downey realizes his value and puts his foot down. He understands that he's the only guy who could play this role and appreciates his value and therefore negotiates more money. That's not anything against the VFX guys, because while he plays Tony Stark, they play Iron Man. And the thing is, they're replaceable. They are, and they understand.
Yeah, well, yes, they are. He also pushes for other actors to get money, too, which I think is fantastic. I absolutely love that about him. He's no John Wick. He's no Keanu Reeves, who's just like, yeah, all the money I made from that first Matrix movie, I just gave it to, the people on the set so they would have more money. The John Wick 3 that I just did, I bought custom bikes for all the guys that were in the crew and whatnot, and we all raced Harleys. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, for Robert Downey Jr. to be able to do that, he can only do that because if all of a sudden Tom Cruise showed up, who was supposed to be the original actor that they were trying to tap for Tony Stark, if he showed up and he's just like, hey, haha, I'm Iron Man. Hey, is that a couch? Is that Oprah's couch? I'm going to jump on it. Like, we'd all be like, what the hell? Where's Robert Downey Jr.? You know what I'm saying? It's not like Terrence
Howard,
thank you. I was like, Terrence Fisher? It's not Fisher. What am I thinking about? Terrence Howard being replaced by Don Cheadle. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? But now if we got like 6 movies of Terrence Howard and all of a sudden Don Cheadle showed up, we'd be like, wait a second. That only happened for one movie. So it's like, okay, I guess I can handle this. One crash star with another crash star. Fine. You know what I'm saying? Let's do that. But yeah, like, you can't do that with a writer. If a writer puts his foot down and says, hey, I write good stuff and I want more money, he's out the door before he finishes his sentence. And
I wouldn't
sucks.
say that for Marcus and McFeely. I think they know their value, because right now they're not doing any movies. They're not writing any of the 6 movies that are coming out. It's probably because they put their foot down and said, we are negotiating more. We know our worth. And Feige probably knows that.
And they don't have the same pull that Downey has, which is a shame.
I disagree. I think they
are they on the
same pull. You're right. They don't have the same pull, and they're probably not getting 70 million. They do have pull, though.
75 million, thank you.
Yeah.
For both movies. Infinity War and Endgame.
We're each 75?
Each were 75
nice.
From what I understood. Yeah, right? It's like, dude, are you freaking kidding me right now? So the writers can't get that. The boom crew can't get that. And it's not that they have to all get the same outcome, whatever. It's just they should all have the ability to say, hey, listen, we kicked some serious ass before, right? You got us doing this again. Downey just asked for this much money.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me that we're not worth a little bit more? No, we will replace you. Just like that. We'll Thanos you in a heartbeat. Like,
I don't know if that conversation took place, and if it took place like that, probably did, but I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, what's next on the docket?
John Wick, Keanu Reeves. Let's go on an Easter egg hunt. How does this Superman film connect to the Star Wars film?
Okay. Some guy on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, social media. He went and showed these two pictures, all right? In the 1978 Richard Donner Superman, when Superman spins around. Did you ever see the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When he's like, all right, everybody move back a little bit, because he just heard Lex Luthor broadcasting really loud, and he's like, ah, and he goes and he's just like, all right, everybody move back a little bit. And then he does the spinning around. He drills himself down into the subway system, and he, knocks down Lex Luthor's door. He's like, all right, Lex, I know you're here. And he's like, oh, Superman, how you doing? Whatever. And he does all of his stuff. And he's like, don't go in that box. He's like, made out of lead? That's just cheap, Luthor. How do you think I wasn't going to figure this out? And he opens up that brown wooden box, and inside is the kryptonite. Well, that brown wooden box, go figure, is apparently the exact same prop box chest that was used in Star Wars: A New Hope. When Obi-Wan says to Luke, I saved your father's lightsaber. I dusted the charbroil off it when I had the high ground, but yeah, look, and he opens up the chest and there's the lightsaber. It's like, holy crap, it was the same chest. They used the same prop. So now I have the professor's headcanon. I think that kryptonite,
the kyber crystal?
Yeah, you son of a bitch. I think that it could be a kyber crystal.
Oh.
I say, if the true worlds, if DC and Disney ever crossed over, all right, in the Star Wars, right, all of a sudden it's like, kryptonite. I can use this as a kyber crystal. And imagine if you bled it, and now it's red sun kryptonite. Oh my God! I'm saying.
So green kryptonite turns blue when you use the Force.
Well, they're green lightsabers.
What color was the lightsaber in the box?
They were blue.
They were blue.
Yeah. Shut up, man. It was from a galaxy far, far away, so it might have died out. It time traveled backwards in time and went to another galaxy. All right.
A long time ago, yeah.
That was really far, far away.
Right,
all
right.
So like time travel, it got the blue shift.
It eroded. It was an erosion. A dilapidated kyber crystal turns green into. Are you talking? I can't hear you.
I'm saying, like, dilapidated is when something's like falling over, or old and falling over, and erosion is when like the water comes in, like, and it gets old. But all that can happen.
Yeah,
it deteriorated. Yeah, you could say it's deteriorated. I'm saying there's a blue shift when you're traveling through time. Yeah. There's the red shift and the blue shift, and it went blue shift, right? Because it went back in time. So back in time, and then the flux capacitor, 1.31 gigawatts. You gotta say gigawatts. You can't say gigawatts when you're talking about Back to the Future. Somehow it's gigawatts. But anyway, so that was my stupid headcanon. Move on. Shut up. It was cool that guy found that stuff.
I got a Star Wars headcanon here about the lightsabers too. It's here we go. Everything we know from Star Wars prior to Episode 7, when that trilogy started, everything we knew about these lightsabers, where they were these deadly weapons. It touches you, you're sliced. It could even carve these doors, as Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon showed us in the Phantom Menace.
They promised us they don't actually generate heat, and all of a sudden George Lucas is like, "F you." He has Qui-Gon sticking it through the door, and it's melting. I'm like, I thought they don't generate heat. What the hell? I can't keep up with this stuff.
These weapons are completely dangerous things.
They're OP.
And then we get to Episode 7, where Finn thinks he's a Jedi, lifts up that, goes toe to toe with Kylo Ren, but then Kylo Ren does win and slices up the backside of Finn from his bottom all the way to the top of his neck. Yeah. Wow. That's fatal. But for some reason, there was no blood. There was no there was no death, fatality. That's it. How do you survive that? I saw what happened to Maul. I saw what happened to everybody.
Yeah.
Just a scene earlier. What happened to Han
we
Solo?
watched Order 66. Mother
Yes.
Fatheads was dying.
Now the way in my head canon to get around how that's possible and how Finn could survive is, from the angle that Kylo Ren sliced him up. We couldn't see exactly how much of that lightsaber touched him. And the little tippity tip is all it took to get the top skin of Finn cut from the bottom all the way up. It wasn't a deep enough wound to kill him, but it was enough to take him out, just because the tip of Kylo Ren's lightsaber did that. That's the only way I can make sense of it. That's part of my headcanon.
I got the just the tip thing in my head. I'm like, just the tip. I think that he wasn't able to kill him because he's Kylo bitch tits. That's what I think. Hey, everybody vote down below. Who do you think is more right?
Those are writers who don't deserve 75 million.
Okay, now see, look at that. We're in agreement. That I love when that happens.
We go to Trollz and the toys that are coming out for that.
Some Karen trolls out here. Yo, Karen is in full effect, and she figured out how to use the goddamn internet, man. So there's this video out. There's this video out with this freaking woman, and she's got the Karen voice. Okay, so I got this Trollz World Tour toy as a gift for my kid. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and I'm pushing things all over, and it says on the box it only does that. Anyway, so on the bottom of this stupid freaking thing, like where the butthole would be, you push it and it does some noises. And she, of course, is a pedophile because she thinks of stuff like this. It's like, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say because, like,
well, what does the noise say?
It's that there's a whole bunch of noises. One of them, a little goo-goo noise. One of them's laughing. One of them's giggling. It's like, it is what it is. But you know what? Like, I look at this and I'm like, So if I wanted to have a button that every time that you make the kid sit, it's going to make a noise, where would I put the button? Oh, yeah, probably right there where it's actually going to be on the ground. But she's all down there, like, fingering it. Like, what are you thinking about? You're fingering this doll. Talk about, oh, my God, it's responding to me. And then she, of course, keeps on fingering it. And she's like, oh, I'm going to get the G-spot pretty soon. Jesus Christ. This chick, there's something wrong with her. There's something wrong with her.
I don't think there's something wrong with making that connection. If you push a toy meant for kids in that specific place, and that if the button is located there, and the reaction that the doll gives is like a giggle and a then that's not kid appropriate. And this goes through so many different people in that company that should have caught on to that.
Should have caught on to the ideas like, hey, listen, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to have it so that when you bend the legs forward in a sitting position and you put it down, every time you put it down, it's going to make like some kind of a noise. Sometimes it's a giggle, sometimes it's a coo, sometimes whatever. No, okay, whatever.
They have departments in that company to prevent that stuff from happening.
Do they?
Yes, they do. They actually have like human resources and a whole bunch of people who actually
human resources for the humans, not for the toys.
Whatever the heck the department's called. They have them to make sure these are kid appropriate. Then there's also different outside companies that gotta regulate it to understand that this is something for children. Sitting down, make a sitting down noise. Say, oh, I'm comfortable in this seat. Something like that. Don't give me a noise that you would also make if you were touched in that area.
Did you think, like, you saw the video, you heard all that stuff?
I heard the sound without watching the video because I was listening to a podcast talk about it.
Yeah, no. Like, you got to just watch it without anybody telling you what you're listening to, just the Karen. Because I'm serious when I say this, man. Like, I don't think that a kid is going to make that connection. Like, I'm sure that there was a test audience and it's mostly kids and whatnot. And I'm sure that there were parents there for the test audience, but whatever, like, I'm speculating like you are. I literally look at it as, here's a woman, one person. How many people bought this toy? And one person makes this connection. And then everybody goes up. So is the purple Teletubby really gay?
What?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I know it. God damn it. You remember the Teletubbies? You ever heard of
Tinky
them?
Winky.
There you go. So he had the triangle on his head, and a purple or pink triangle meant affinity with gay lesbian stuff. Like you were supporting them and stuff like that. I don't even know if that still exists to this day. But he was purple and he had the triangle on his head, and the groups were like, "Oh my God, he's gay! He's indoctrinating the gays." So were they right also? Like no
I'm talking
kid
about an
made that
actual
connection.
sound that comes out that is similar to a sound
They
of a
also
woman who's
said
being
that
pleased.
there were these stupid sounds of. Have you ever heard the Teletubbies making their noises?
No,
That
but
sounded sexual
is the
too.
button on the Teletubbies right in the private area? Because then it would be exactly
Maybe.
the same.
Maybe I don't know. Look, I literally look at it as this is one person who made
It's
this
not
connection.
one person because there's a whole bunch of people who shared it and they even discontinued the toy.
Yes,
it's more than one
they
person.
shared it and they discontinued the toy because oh my God, we're getting bad press and it's outrage culture. I did not
It's
see
an
it.
appropriate outrage.
Okay, I'm glad you agree. I'm also glad that we finally got a disagreement going between us.
We should start with these disagreements.
Right? Well, we don't always know. We don't discuss this stuff in advance. We're just like, what topics are we going to talk about? And we always come with our viewpoint. Dude, I did not see this as being sexual because like I can't imagine a kid looking at this and going, "Ooh, I wonder if I touch myself there too, if that's okay." Like this chick was talking about is this some kind of breeding ground to indoctrinate kids to make them okay with child molestation? I'm sorry, what kind of a freaking pedophilia psychopath
Puts that in a toy.
thinks that? Dude, this is insanity. That was a great sneak in, but no, not working. Like, what kind of a psychopath thinks that they're grooming kids to be okay with pedophilia or with whatever? This woman is, and I don't really think she's a pedophile, but I do believe that she's got something wrong with her. And she's your tip. I just talked about on my live stream today. There are too many people who in life are absolute nobodies. They're nobodies, and they're never going to be a nobody. And in this world where everybody's got social media and this person's getting likes for something and that person's getting likes for something and this person has comments and discussions and and stuff like that, I want to be in the spotlight too. I want my 15 minutes of fame. I am owed my 15 minutes of fame. So she says, I found something. And then all these other people start, and she's just like, that's right. I got this toy
It
canceled.
seems that your issue is with this woman who recorded the video. That's like every time I talk about it, you bring it back to there. I just want to talk about the issue of putting a button where a person's button is.
Did somebody push your button there?
Yeah,
Did you push your own button?
Oh, God.
Well, show me your hands.
Rockstar Suicide Squad video game. Rockstar is the guys who make Grand Theft Auto, Midnight Club, Red Dead Redemption, and now we got Suicide Squad?
That's Rockstar, not Rocksteady.
Sorry, Rockstar.
No, this is Rocksteady. Rocksteady's doing this. They're the guys who did the Arkham games.
I'm confused because...
That's okay. It's a very similar name, I know. They did this one, Urban City, I think it's called, Urban Life, whatever, and it's like, they're big on making these big world games, like these open world type games, like the Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins, Arkham City, I think it's great. Yeah, they do the city games, you know what I'm saying? So it's, oh, hey, look, we've already got all these city models. We'll change the skins. And then bang, we can go on top of the world, we can go under the world, we can go in the world, we can go around the world. It's a freaking world. Mm-hmm. And now, instead of just having one character, Batman, and maybe a couple skins for other people, we can have a whole team of Suicide Squad. Task Force X, baby. I can't wait. I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, team-up games are interesting. We'll see how it works, because once you only have a Spider-Man character around the city, or just one Batman character around the city, you put all the focus in on that Batman, and he has all these utilities and things he can do. When you got a team of people, you got to divide the care, I think. It shouldn't be that way, and maybe everything should be perfect for every character, but the care will be divided also, and it won't be as cool, I think.
I guess all the characters are very similar with each other. You might need a different character, like they're going to do the Avengers game. So if they were to do a Justice League game, I could see it as being way too different. You know, like being Batman swinging around Metropolis or wherever he's going to be is very different from Superman flying around it or Aquaman.
Flash.
Well, Aquaman would probably be walking around because, I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to leap a little bit and, like, he can't swim. What's he going to do? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you got Killer Croc. He can go in the sewers and do whatever, but he's mostly going to be running around. So, and all these guys, like, they're going to be doing very similar things to each other.
They'll all run at different speeds.
Yeah, you know, different strength levels, different hit levels. Some will have distance attacks, some won't, you know? Yeah.
You know, the new Marvel Avengers game has an exclusive for PlayStation only. It's going to be Spider-Man.
Makes sense.
It sucks if you're an Xbox user, though. Like, the Hawkeye thing is still going to be for both Xbox and PlayStation. And I think even PC, whatever other platforms they are. But when it comes to Spider-Man, Sony only.
It happens. The other companies have the option to buy a character also. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the way that these DLCs have always worked. The original Marvel Ultimate Alliance, you ever play that?
I think so.
All right. The original one, when they came out, if you had Xbox, you would get the pre-order downloads for these characters. If you had the PlayStation, you'd get, you know, these characters. If you had the Nintendo, you'd get these characters.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But
And it was annoying. But
it is. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to put in effort to make a game, make a part of a game, and you restrict it to different systems, like you're just wasting the manpower. Let everyone enjoy what these guys were all working on. I don't care.
I hear you, but it's not the game maker that's doing that. It's like Sony saying, "Hey, listen, I want people to buy my system. So what I'm going to do is this. Why don't you throw in an extra character just for mine?"
Spider-Man is not an extra character. Spider-Man is Spider-Man. If we're talking about Moon Knight.
I hear you. So if they say, "Hey, do you have Spider-Man up in there?" Well, you know, I was thinking about maybe we could make a Spider-Man. We already did, blah, blah. How about this? I'm going to pay you an extra so-and-so money, and you make it exclusive to the Sony version. All right? Yeah. We're Sony. We've got the Spider-Man movie franchise. So how about you do such and such and such also? Because the video game could go for anyone. Sony doesn't have control over the video game or the TV or the comic book or anything like that, only the movie. So if they said, "What do you say?" and you make this mission, and Avi Arad did the script for it, maybe that's what happened, and God help us all if he did. Avi Arad, Spider-Man. Anyway, they can do that if they're paying the money for it. And then they can turn around and they could do, you know, what they had the Spider-Man Game of the Year version. So what if they turn around, they're just like, "Oh, hey, look, we've got we're going to sell a console with that Avengers game with the Spider-Man exclusive character in there also, and the special Spider-Man controller." And it's just one more thing that they can do to try and convince you to buy a PS5 or 4 or whatever the hell they're selling. PS Bottle Rocket.
So yeah, I understand the business practice. I wish it didn't exist.
I agree. Yeah, because nobody wants to go out and buy a whole new console just so they can also play Spider-Man. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. They believe that there are some people who will.
I don't think there's that many to make a difference.
Well, their marketing team seems to think otherwise. We'll see.
Especially like 4 years into the new systems. When did these things come out? We might even be like the year number 6, right? 2012, I think they came out.
They just announced not too long ago with the PS5, you're going to be able to use the old controllers, but not for the next-gen games. It's like, well, then what's the point?
Don't they change the controller every single generation?
They do. They change the controller. I've got the PS3 and the PS4. The controllers are not interchangeable with each other. Yeah. So they're saying, oh, for the PS4, they will be. You can use the PS4 controller for the PS5, but only for the older games, not for the next-gen games. So, okay, I get it.
Better than nothing, but okay.
It is. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue about it. It's something.
Yeah, I think I heard that if you buy a PS4 game that's also available on PS5 that they port over, then you don't have to pay for it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they need to do something because Sony is that one company. Oh, no, Nintendo. I'm thinking Nintendo. Sorry. Nintendo is that company that doesn't do sales. They never do sales. You'll never find a sale for a Nintendo game or a Nintendo console. Like, they just don't do it.
Oh, you mean like a reduced price? Okay.
Yeah, a sale price. Yeah, they don't do. They won't do a reduced price or a clearance price for anything because, like, no, it's going to devalue the game, and people will only wait for the sales and things like this. So they want to be consistent. Meanwhile, the other companies are like, yeah, we'll do a sale. Shoot, Black Friday. You know how much we bank on that? So, yeah. It's a weird. Everybody's got their own business practices.
When you got your Pokemon and your Zeldas and your Mario Odysseys that are gonna sell money.
And they're exclusive. Yeah.
Oh, wait, okay. They're exclusive, but you understand the difference, right? Between this being exclusive and making Spider-Man exclusive. Like,
I 100% understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go to, where do you want to go? DC versus Marvel?
Okay. So we're going to switch over to some wrestling talk here. First, I want to throw in that Matt Cardona, the Long Island Iced Tea, baby. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. He is now signed with AEW. Made his debut this past Wednesday. His 90-day non-compete clause is over.
Bad decision.
You think that's a bad decision? I don't know what he's being paid, but I think it's a great decision. This is a guy who, unlike everybody else out there, has proven he can get over even when he's not being pushed. He is that creative. He has that much heart. Booker T was just talking about on his podcast. That is a great decision on AEW's part because he hasn't seen a time when Matt Cardona hasn't pushed and tried hard. His internet show on his own, like he's doing the Wrestling Figure podcast stuff now. Like, this guy is just the big broski, whatever he's called, the broski. Like, this guy has the it factor. He's still in really great shape. He's been in the business for a ridiculously long time. He's never lost heart. He's never once come out and had an okay match. Like, he's always put everything into it, and he still loves the business to this day. He got nervous on his drive over to go to AEW Dynamite. He got nervous. A guy who's been in the business this long, because he's like, I got to make a good impression. Like, nah, man. This guy, if they let him, I think he's gonna go big over there. This might be one of his best, or one of the best purchases that they did, in my humble opinion.
One of the things we forgot to mention, or conveniently left out, is that he's been a jobber for 10 years.
You're right. You're right. They've made him a jobber. That's something.
There's people who consider wrestling as a real sport.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least they know it's fake, but they just don't know how much fake it is. But there's people who look at the value of wrestlers based on wins and losses who are watching these programs. People that you want to be watching your show, AEW. Now, if you see a guy who's been bottom tier for years and years, and you know that he is not talented, you know this because the WWE weren't using him. So you know this guy is all the way down here. He comes over, joins AEW, and he's in competitive matches with these guys. Well, that must mean that AEW itself is all the way down here. That's, if you think wrestling is real, kayfabe, that is how I perceive that. Then you got a guy like Jon Moxley, who, yes, he was a WWE champion, and he's an AEW champion. Then it goes to show you that, you see here, in that better company known as the World Wrestling Entertainment, when they come over and join AEW, they clean house. That means that even the regular wrestler of WWE is better than the average wrestler here in AEW. That's what that shows me. When NXT wrestlers like Taynara Conti can come over to AEW and win their first tag team match, and she's not even a tag team wrestler, then it goes to show you that, damn, even the NXT level guys who are supposed to be bottom tier are better than or are competing with the AEW talent. Kayfabe, it's a bad decision to let a 10-year jobber join your company. If he went and reinvented himself, which he can't do, of course, because there's no independent wrestling. But if he did do that, and then he came back at it, he'd be like, okay, this is that Matt Cardona guy I was hearing about. Brand new, fresh coat of paint. At least it could help me with the transition.
Maybe. Who knows? Honestly, maybe. Here's a guy who just would not stay down. And I believe, and the dirt sheets have talked about how WWE brass, including Vince, hated that he would get over on his own all the time through all of this time. So I hear you when you say like, oh, he's been booked as a jobber and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he has been booked as a jobber. That's what WWE does to these people. They booked Rusev as a jobber, for crying out loud, getting beaten up all the time by everybody he would come across until they finally fired him. But if Rusev showed up and just went Rah! And on AEW and just charged in, or Ring of Honor, for crying out loud, you're telling me that you wouldn't freak out and be like, whoa?
Yeah, for like they can do it once, but mid-range Cody Rhodes, mid-tier Cody Rhodes in WWE is one of their champions on AEW. We look at a guy like Pac. We look at a guy like
the bastard
Jericho.
They kept on talking crap and jobbing what's his name, Pac, until he finally wound up leaving. And he comes over and he's the bastard over here now, and he's just like, he's kicking butt. He's taking names. A lot of people are getting tired of this. The revival. The WWE only brought in the revival because they were going to use them to sway, former Bullet Club members, to sway AJ Styles over to them. The
revival?
That was, yeah.
Who's the revival?
Oh, the revival. Wait, no, I'm thinking
Machine Gun and Doc Gallows?
Yeah. Those guys. That's the only reason why they were brought over in the first place. I don't know. Like, it's booking, man. It's just what it is. And it's an all new, all different thing. And there's enough of us who do recognize it's the booking, wins and losses. Yeah. I hear you. But when you get a chance someplace else, it's like, dude, this guy's talented. I think that he can actually do something with it. So it's a fresh start for him. So
I kind of hijacked this. Do you want to get back to what you were saying about DC versus Marvel?
Yeah, sure.
And then you're like, we're going to get into wrestling talk because Jim Cornette booked a DC versus Marvel. Yeah. Just get that out if you want.
Look, I loves me some Jim Cornette. I know he's old school. I don't like all of his ideas. I think that he's completely wrong when it comes to Orange Cassidy, because a lot of us understand fully that wrestling is not real fighting. And he doesn't get that, but it is what it is. Keeps on calling him Pockets. I think that's a great name for him. But I didn't realize Jim Cornette knew so much about comic books, because he was asked a question, one of his corny drive-through questions about booking Marvel and DC. And this guy is just probably the best booker ever. And he booked a battle, and he understands these characters. His commentary about Superman was absurd. I'm telling you right now, right click, open up a new panel, whatever you're going to do, and have that thing waiting, because by the time that we're done here, his commentary about booking DC versus Marvel was out of this freaking world. I loved it. I think that you'll love it too, dude.
Nice. Someone from DC who moved over to Marvel is Christopher Priest. This dude's doing the U.S. Agent. That's a new book coming out. One of the very few new things that they're actually announcing. The first thing they announced since this pandemic.
Yeah, with all the other books that are quietly being closed down and whatnot, like Doctor Strange was quietly shut down.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider just stopped. Issue 7 stopped.
Well, I understand that it just stopped, but it did stop on a part where it can be picked up someplace else. Here's the thing about it. That whole, did you read that final issue of Ghost Rider?
No.
Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, he fixes everything. He's back to normal human, not human, but regular, not possessed guy, but he's Johnny Blaze with control over his Ghost Rider form again. And he takes Mephisto and kidnaps him. Is like, come on, let's go. And he drags him. He's like, I'm bringing you back to hell. And it's like, oh, well, that's interesting. So he's still going to be the king of hell. And Mephisto's going to be like his slave or servant or prisoner in hell. And it's like, what the hell is going on here?
Meanwhile, Mephisto is manipulating everybody in Jason Aaron's Avengers book.
Yeah, exactly.
Phil Coulson and the Squadron Supreme under his fingers, and same with Namor trying to get the Phoenix Force now. I don't know what Mephisto has up planned in the Las Vegas jail of his, but according to Ghost Rider, he's out of the jail and he's in
out
hell.
of the jail now and being brought back to hell. Yes, hell
that,
proper.
That doesn't sound like a lot of continuity, but we'll see where it goes.
It doesn't. But at the same time, listen, I'm going to make an argument here that the best story arc that has come out in the past maybe 4 years has been the Damnation thing. It was considered a mini event, but it's had the most ramifications. It's the longest lasting. It's the most interesting. Everybody's curious, like, whoa, Mephisto's not in charge of hell now? Johnny Blaze is? He's trapped in the hotel in Las Vegas? Like, whoa, this is so completely off the wall. Donny Cates was a part of this, and Nick Spencer was a part of this. Like, this is it's a great idea, great plot, great storyline that just not enough people, I think, are really doing something about it, but enough people are. And this is an event that happened, 2 years ago, something like that?
Yeah.
And it's still being told.
Now let's talk about the people telling the story. Jason Aaron likes Donny Cates. They're friends.
Yeah.
So he's going to honor the ramifications of a past story that Donny Cates made. Donny Cates is going to honor the past story that he wrote himself. Nick Spencer is the guy doing Spider-Man. Well, how has he mentioned Damnation? Has he ever?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, he's a name and he's respected, so maybe people are going to look at what he's doing and use it. Same thing with like how Hickman's doing the whole Krakoa thing. All of a sudden, Kelly Thompson wants to take Deadpool over to Krakoa, and everyone's mentioning Krakoa whenever they can, just because, oh, that's a cool thing that happened from a writer we respect. You put these writers we respect on these events, and the ramifications will be felt across the multiverse.
That's a possibility, but not everybody's still talking about the War of Realms. Not everybody's talking about
that was
Secret
a conclusion.
Empire. Not everybody's talking about a lot of stuff.
Eve Ewing mentioned War of Realms in her comic out
Yeah,
loud.
a quick mention is nothing. It's like, in the Immortal Hulk, there was a mention of it. It's like, oh, in the War of Realms, I committed treason against Earth, and I haven't gotten in trouble for it. And that's it. No more mention.
And that's Al Ewing. Respect to Al Ewing. No, that's doing enough though. That's mentioning enough. That's pretending like it didn't just.
It's the Ewings, but nonetheless.
We got Black Cat getting canceled, and they said that she's going to return in King in Black, and then the numbering might just return to 1. I don't know. I hope they just continue from 13 onwards.
Please stop doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm so tired of the renumberings. But yeah, all of that. They're taking the long hiatus on that one. I don't know, man. They're doing a lot with these books. They're canceling all these books and whatnot from the current Empire storyline.
What's the strategy here? Is it like Diamond won't print that much, so we can't give them that much? Is Diamond the reason for this?
Diamond doesn't print the stuff, do they?
Who does?
I think it's the companies themselves.
So what does Diamond do? Whatever the word is,
They're just the
distribute?
distributors, yeah.
Okay, well, maybe the Diamond can't distribute that much anymore, and that's forcing Marvel to... Or maybe this is a thing like, hey, look, Feige just hit us up. He said he's got no plans for Ghost Rider, or rather, we're going to do a movie with Jose... What's this Ghost Rider's name again?
The one on Avengers. Crap, you just said Jose. It's nowhere near. His brother's name is Gabe. His name is.
So that Ghost Rider from LA.
Rider. Robbie Reyes. Jeez.
There it is.
Robbie Reyes.
Maybe that's the reason, and they're like, "Hey, Ghost Rider right now, no. Movies will dictate or at least influence what happens now," which it should. I think that's the business strategy they should go with, and I'm very sure that, look at you making your face over there. I know this is going to upset people, but if you know for a fact that you're going to be doing a Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, sorry, then what, bro? We only have 12 issues of the first all new Ghost Rider run. We need more stories to adapt for the movies, for the one that's coming out, that we have planned 5 years from now. People at Marvel Comics, that should be the Ghost Rider you do. Go.
Yes.
And then they put him on the team of Avengers. Same with She-Hulk. We know we are doing a She-Hulk series. We need some more modern She-Hulk stories. Put her on the Avengers, give her own book. That should be what you do. If you're doing a Riri Williams TV show, then, bro, pick up the phone and say, yo, why did you cancel Eve Ewing's run at number 12? Get her back on the book, because we need to have more Riri Williams things to adapt when we do her series coming up in 3-4 years. That needs to be the plan. Everything that they're doing. I guess Thor.
Not
He's got
even
a
just
movie.
the adaptation, but more specifically, it's like, oh, if I see this in the movie theater or on my TV, I'm going to say to myself, I want to go to a comic book store and see what's available. Oh,
Yeah,
look, this is on
multiple
the
reasons.
shelf.
You see,
Yes.
you make that
So
money.
that influence, absolutely, 100%. I was thought you were talking about storylines. Storylines should not be influenced. I hate when that
No,
happens.
you can't influence storylines because we've got like 60 years of
But that's
history.
what they do. They do influence the storylines, and I hate that.
You mean like
Absolutely hate that.
Killmonger coming back to life like that?
Yeah, and being more like the movie version. Yeah, I'm not like that was Hill did a great job on that, and that was outside of continuity. He said it's partially in, partially out of continuity. I'm okay.
Well, if it's
with
partially out, then it's completely out for me.
yeah, as far as I'm concerned too. Yes, it should be completely out of continuity. All that being said, just whatever, have it on the freaking shelves so that there's an option for people to buy and get. But yeah, I don't know.
I do think the business strategy should be movie focused because the movies make billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Forget making money. Don't try to increase the comic book prices from $4 to $5. Don't try to do anything slick. Just understand that the Thor movie is going to make that much money. So don't worry about the Thor comic and doing creative things. Even though Donny Cates is doing creative things. You know what else I have a problem with the comic books?
Hey, just really quick, would it be profitable to maybe have like a stand of comic books in the movie theaters
for
I mean,
sale?
they've already got like merch all over the place. Why not a comic book stand? Like just a title, whatever
on
title
opening
is
week.
currently out. Yeah. Boom.
Why not? But it would have to be movie related. I wouldn't want to put something there
Yeah, that's
that wasn't
what I'm
in
saying.
the.
You would have to,
Okay, let me be more clearer. It has to be in the MCU. Earth 199999. I wouldn't want to see Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man when I'm watching Spider-Man Far From Home because
I think that is my opinion. Like I hear your opinion. I'm thinking if when Black Panther 2 comes or Black Widow, right? Kelly Thompson's book is going to be out around that time. Okay, cool. Excuse me. Have issue 1 in the movie theater or in the regular comic book store. You know how they have the UPC price for the store bought ones, but then back in the day for the comic book stores, they'd have the actual picture of Spider-Man or Superman symbol saying there's no UPC on here because this is direct sales only. This is not magazine sales. This is for the comic book stores only. So have like a movie theater scan code. The scan code for Apple, the iPhones. They'd have the QVC code, whatever the hell those things are called. Have that there so it's the exact same issue, but it's a variant. It's the movie theater variant. So this way, comic book collectors.
How is it different? Is it still the Kelly Thompson written Black Widow?
It would still be the exact same book, but it would be basically a variant cover.
Now, how does that help me? I just came to see the movie of Black Widow.
That's right. So you
the
buy
only
this.
thing that's similar is it's Black Widow, but it's a 616 Black Widow. That's different from what I want. If you want to make me a movie viewer, a comic book fan, give me a story that takes place in the MCU that you didn't have enough time to do in the movie.
Most people who've never read comic books before are going to know the difference. They're going to think, oh, this is a new story. Cool. And say, hey, if you want to get part 2 in the comic book stores.
So there's a challenge there that you're introducing that I'm saying just completely eliminate. Let's just give them an MCU comic book and they'll be like, I like comic books.
I guess.
They're brand new readers.
I guess. Are you going to put in the Gamerverse also if you buy a video game? I don't know, man.
Actually,
I think
yes.
that's a bit much. Oh,
Actually, yes. That makes sense.
That's just too much. I say put it all in the regular Earth 616 because that's when you're going to be able to say, okay, hey, she shows up in the Avengers. Let me jump over the Avengers comic book. Let me see what that's about. Wow, I really like comic books. I just think bring people in. Whatever. I don't even care. Do it your way. Just freaking put the goddamn comic books in the goddamn movie theaters and get more goddamn people going to the goddamn comic book stores.
Why are we damning God so much? Goddamn. So Free Comic Book Day is also something that I would change up. The way that they did it this year, Marvel at least, is it was very un-new reader friendly. If you look at the way that Hickman was doing his X-Men thing, like what's the point of what? How am I supposed to get into comics if I'm reading this crazy universal weird stuff?
Yeah.
And
first off, it was booty to begin with. It was just showing tarot cards. I'm like, come on, man. I used to play with tarot cards when I was a kid. Enough of that nonsense.
Yeah, that'll make me a fan. So And then we got the first appearance of Virus, or is it, in Free Comic Book Day? What does CGC have to say? They seem to be the authority on this. I respect everyone's opinion, but they can't actually. What did they say?
Well, apparently a lot of us think that this is the first appearance of Virus. Peter Parker, Spider-Man, issue number 48, Legacy number 146. Because
First, let me stop you there.
Yeah.
It was so helpful that you gave me Legacy 146. I can actually like place that at a time frame. But okay, continue.
Yes, yeah, for the Peter Parker stories. But yeah, what do you call? I just got that in. Anyway, the for crying out
My
loud.
bad.
Say that. That's right. Say the thing
First
again.
appearance of Virus.
Yeah, so CGC is saying that the first appearance is actually the Free Comic Book Day one. Now, are they an authority? Yes, they 100% are. Are they the authority? No, they 100% are not.
How could it be an authority but not the authority?
Lots of people can be an authority. You can, like, I don't know, depending on how big your retail store is, you might have 6 different managers. You know what I'm saying? But like, which one is on duty right now?
CGC is not the retail store here. Marvel is. So if like Quesada said it, but Axel Alonso said it, or that's a wrong name. He doesn't work there no more. You know what I mean? Like Sobolski says it, but Quesada says it. Then then I can see. Yeah, they're both an authority.
Yeah, I hear you. No, they are an authority because they're looking at it from story purposes. So, yes, the street date for issue number 26 of Venom came out first, but it was obviously intended that Free Comic Book Day version came out first. Now, if you're a speculator and you're trying to flip some books and whatnot, and you didn't get the Free Comic Book Day one, but you did get 26, you're going to push, no, street date one. And if you have both, you're going to be like, well, street date first appearance, and here's the other. You're going to try and get all the comic books. So, like, there's going to be people who are going to be blowing their top and flipping out and go, and rage. And I want to sit back and just eat the popcorn and watch them freak out. Because that's
it is interesting though. It is a very valid conversation to be had.
It is. It absolutely is. Again, Wolverine issue number 180 Hulk.
Yeah, but that's
cameo appearance or first full appearance. What's the difference? So, which means 181 or 182. Is that his second appearance or his third appearance, or is it his second cameo appearance?
Oh God.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, it is his second cameo appearance. Fine, you can say that.
You can say it's multiple things, like.
But to call 181 his first appearance without saying first full, see, you got to be accurate.
It depends on who you are. First
no,
appearance.
It doesn't.
Okay.
That's unarguable.
And yet there's a huge argument about it. So, and they're saying, and the people who are saying no, 181 is his first appearance. They're saying it's inarguable. The cameos don't count.
Well, they're full of it.
Okay.
Are you one of those people?
Full of it. I don't care because I don't sell my comic books.
Well, if you were,
I want them all.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. The people saying that probably own 181 and are wanting to make it seem more valuable.
This is the argument that I've been pushing for a long time. People are going to argue for what they've got to sell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so
instead of going off the truth, which in this case, though, in this specific case, a virus coming in a book that was supposed to be scheduled for the first week of May, but it came out whenever it came out. But then Venom 26 comes out, and that is so interesting that I just respect both opinions so much that I can't say... I can give you my opinion. In my opinion, because storyline-wise, in this book over here, in Free Comic Book Day, for all you video viewers,
just go on.
Virus appears here in Free Comic Book Day first.
Mm-hmm.
The next time he shows up, they already know who Virus is over in the Venom book.
Mm-hmm.
So even in the book you're touting is the first appearance, if they're already talking about him, I'm going to go with the continuity-wise. He does first appear in Free Comic Book Day, and then Venom 26 is his second appearance. But I do understand that the first time he was ever available to read was in the Venom 26. It's just me saying I respect continuity over freaking the time it was released, the week it was released.
Publication date, release date. Well, at the same time, a year from now, 5 years from now,
won't matter.
10 years from now, nobody's going to remember any of that.
No, we will know that. You can just go on the website and look at the digital comic and it'll say released on this date. They do say that.
I guess. You know what I'm saying? But there's also multiple dates, like publication date and release date. So, like some people will have the release date, but the publication date is what's actually shown. And since the publication was delayed for Free Comic Book Day, longer than it was for Venom number 26, like it just, again, it's just one of those things where it's like, which one are you selling? Which one do you have personal stock in? You know what I'm saying?
I've got both, and I'm telling you, Free Comic is the first appearance. And
that's exactly what CGC says. So
you know what I say?
An authority figure.
Okay. I just told you they're not working at Marvel, so they're not an authority. If they are, then so am I, because I've got an opinion on it too.
That's what I said.
Right, then stop saying authority.
And you've got a platform.
And I've got a platform. All right. Now, what they should have done is make Virus an actual first appearance on 26, not on Free Comic Book Day, so that people could know that it was a first appearance. The people like this, it's just a win-win-win situation all over. Donny Cates says 3 months in advance, a new character will appear in Venom 26. The people who are getting their Venom 26s anyways and they're subscribed, they're gonna get their Venom books now because. They're not going to go to the store and be like, where's all my Venom books? Oh, all the speculators came in and took it. That's not going to happen because the speculators are going to make a phone call and say, get 10 of those Venom 26s. It's the first. Why are you interrupting me? Why are you interrupting me?
Because I feel like we're just beating a dead horse at this point.
Okay, fine.
We're not saying any new information. Who cares?
Next topic is a rant on Bleeding Cool.
Thank you. Yeah. So, Bleeding Cool. These jackasses. You guys already know that I don't like the comic books. Whatever conversation news reporting agency websites, they're all.
I feel like we're bleeding a dead horse, but okay.
Bleeding a dead horse. So and they're milking one. So they're trying to appeal to the speculators market that, and the way that they did this with spoilers ahead. Here's a little bit of information. More spoilers ahead. Information. Oh my God, really big spoil. Oh my God, I want to punch these guys right in their head. Wiccan and Hulkling were shown getting married while watching Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So they decided that chronologically, the first married gay couple in comic books is now retroactively Wiccan and Hulkling.
Okay, chronologically.
This is stupid.
But they don't take place in the same timeline. What's the other one? What's the other one that would debate that?
Well, it would be Astonishing X-Men issue number 105, if I remember correctly, which would be North Star getting married to his husband.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't 105. They did not reach that much. More like 45.
So anyway, they got married at some point, and that was the first gay marriage.
Okay.
And yeah. So now they're going to start retroactively doing things. And mind you, this isn't Marvel. They're just showing, oh, hey, because like we've got the sliding time scale. So it's like, well, if Hulkling and Wiccan got married when Bill and Ted was on, well, then maybe these two got married when freaking Wayne's World was on, or wasn't that sooner? Or I don't know.
So they're using Bill and Ted as the way to measure?
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
Yeah, the sliding time scale, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
If they use like Wolverine was wearing his blue and yellow outfit during the wedding of Wiccan and Hulkling, but Wolverine was wearing the brown and gold in the wedding of or North Star and the other one.
Yeah.
Then you can use that to measure which time it took place. The TV show, no.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, exactly. Like this is the thing. These sites. Like they report on Twitter articles, or not articles. They report on Twitter conversations. They report on like, oh, something happened every week. I'm always talking about, oh my God, Captain America committed treason. You are a jackass and you don't understand the difference between treason and freaking insubordination. You know what I'm saying? Like these are just stupid people who are just trying to do clickbaity type articles. So so all of a sudden somebody actually had a headcanon. And he looked at somebody who's like, oh my God, I've actually got a real article. And spoilers. And so they do this. And it's like, hey, speculators, I'm just saying. And no. These people don't need to be working. These people need to go get an actual job someplace. They need to just stop these stupid sites and report on actual things, not this stupid headcanon stuff not this nonsense, not Gail Simone's tweets. Like, just get a goddamn life. There it is again. Get a life. I am so sick of these pathetic excuses of people with their articles because they put it up there clickbaity, and I'm like, well, if he's got something really cool, let me check it out. And I check it. I'm just like, you owe me those 2 minutes of my life back.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Like, you know what? Trump should not be trying to shut down TikTok. He should be shutting down. You know what? I might consider, but no, I won't. I won't consider voting for him. But it would make me smile a little bit in memory of Trump when he's put in jail for all the stupid things that he's done. If only he would ban these stupid sites. Just put them out there. It's like, the next clickbait article that you do, I'm having a public execution. I'd be like, this is what I'm talking about. Not everything Trump does is bad. See? Like, I'm saying, I'll give credit where credit's due. Like, my God, these people are just so freaking pathetic. It pains my heart. My rant is over.
And so is this podcast. Everyone check me out on YouTube.
Check him out on YouTube. How'd I just get to 16,000 people, and Chillmonger's only at 8,000? Like,
because you read everything.
I do read everything. I do too much of everything on my channel. I'm the #1 guy for Marvel face rip stuff on the internet. I really am. Like,
I'd say you're the #1 guy for comic book reviews also.
Am I?
Who would you put up there also?
Rob and Comicstorian. Oh, he mostly does the trades. He does like the whole stories.
The retelling of the story, yeah.
Yeah, he does like the retelling of the whole story, but still, it's just doing the trade paperbacks. But Rob does. I know everybody says he doesn't. No, Rob is the #1 guy for. He doesn't put down the issue number and stuff like that, but he says it in the stuff. Like, he'll talk about an issue and, oh my God, guys, you'll never believe what just happened. This is so cool. And he just does his thing, and it's like, he does comic book reviews. I don't want to hear that he doesn't do comic book reviews. I do actual hold up the comic book reviews, blah, 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 blah. This issue, all these people did it and stuff like that. Yeah, sure. So I'm probably the #1 classic comic book reviewer on the channel. But aside from that, yeah, no, it's Rob. Definitely Rob, hands down, because he does comic book reviews, even if people say he doesn't. Also, I got to try out this game. This is Injustice 2. And it's like the extra stuff. It's got like, what is this? It's got Hellboy is in it, and freaking Donatello. Or no, that's Leonardo. He's got his katanas. Like I gotta check out this game. Somebody tell me, is this freaking game any good or not? Because I've been hearing some stuff. Is Hawkman in that game? Because I'll be pretty upset if he's not. Anyway, guys. So yeah, that's the podcast.
Check us out. Write a comment. You can always help by thumbsing up the videos, and check out the ad at the end of this one.
Hells yes. I'll talk to you guys later. Professor Bill and Chillmonger, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.